Good afternoon and warm welcome to communication skill sessions. Now the reason I'm calling it a communication skill because we are still covering communication skill, and once we are done we'll get started with soft skills. Alright, so I want to start with the same presentation which is going to be a part of the daily schedule, where I'm going to tell you the companies that is going to come, what is the tentative time when they're going to come, what is the selection process. I know this will be little repetitive for you, but the idea is you understand, those who are missing out on the class, they also understand. But before we go forward, there is one very important information which I need to share. From tomorrow onwards, that is 6th of October, today is 5th, tomorrow is 6th, from 6th till 10th, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, for 5 days, the total number of hours we will spend is more than 4 hours. I will tell you the schedule, alright. So from 9:30 to 11:30 you will have aptitude session, okay. From 11:30 to 1 p.m. you will have technical session. Then from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. it won't be exactly till 5, it will end a little before that, but this is a time slot. So 2 to 5 is for soft skill and communication. Now it will be little lesser than that obviously, because you will do a lot of exercises. So this is the schedule for next 5 days starting tomorrow. This also includes the Saturdays and the Sunday which is coming in between. So please remember, let's have the board on the screen. 9:30 to 11:30 aptitude by Mr. Sunil. Then there is a faculty by name Mr. Rajendra, who is going to take you through the technical skills. So technical skills will be 11:30 to 1 p.m. and 2 to 5, that's a time slot. I will cover soft skill and communication. The companies that are going to hire you, they will ask questions or they will have tests and assessments, interviews, which will include all these areas, okay. So let's look at the presentation here. Now this is a repeat, but this is just to emphasize you guys know all the information right. So we have Capgemini, Tech Mahindra, Wipro, A.P.S.D.C and A.P.S.S.D.C. We do have the time schedule in the sense when they are coming on board for the drive. So Capgemini is from 1st November, Tech Mahindra October to December, the entire 3 months. Wipro is October onwards. A.P.S.D.C and A.P.S.S.D.C, I still don't have the date, the tentative date or the month. The moment we get to know, we will inform. Besides those 5 companies, we also have another 5 company which is Virtusa, IBM, NTT Data, Computer Associates, that's CA, and CSC. Now this is specific to BSc students. For BCom and BA students also we have companies coming in. The moment we get the information, that will be relayed to you. We will update you with the name of the companies as well as when they are coming on board and what is the selection criteria. The generic selection criteria which will apply to everyone. When I say everyone, it will apply to BA, BCom, BSc, everyone. The general selection criteria is written assessment, where you will have questions on aptitude, verbal ability, essay, comprehension. People from BCom, they will also have questions on domain, on accounting, finance and accounts, AP, AR, all those aspects. Interview, you will either have a panel interview or one-on-one. So you will have questions based on your technical capability as well as HR round. I will be conducting special session, how to be successful in interviews. I won't be able to give you, or rather I will not give you exact answer what you should be giving for what question. I don't want you guys to by heart the answer and then go and attend interviews. I will give you an idea what kind of questions they ask and what should be an appropriate answer. Some companies may conduct jam session. Jam session is just a minute session where you're supposed to speak on a given topic, and some companies will also conduct group discussion where they will check your leadership skills, your negotiation skill, your communication skill, and active team member attitude. Alright, so that's the generic process. If we look at the selection process for specific companies, Capgemini, you will have essay writing and non-verbal ability and general aptitude. For Tech Mahindra, you will have essay writing, visual based essay, general aptitude and verbal ability. For Wipro, you will have general English, general aptitude and verbal ability. A.P.S.D.C, you will have reading comprehension, where you will see a paragraph and you need to answer questions based on that. Plus you will have general aptitude and general verbal ability. And emphasis, you will have Versant. I had been telling you about Versant since last 3-4 days. I am not very sure how many of you have actually gone back and done a little homework on Versant. I request you to do that. Trainings like these, we can provide you the training, but you need to put the effort. If you don't put the effort, you will not learn, and the chances of success will come down. So please put a little bit of effort, do a little bit of homework, go and find out Versant. You will come across a lot of sample and practice tests on Versant for emphasis. So please do practice. They also have general aptitude and verbal ability. So all these trainings will equip you to be a person who can be successful. All these trainings will help you gain the skills. All these training will help you get the knowledge that is required to portray yourself as a person who is good to be hired by these companies. Please understand one thing very, very clear. Number one, these companies are not hiring you because they are doing a charity. Nobody does charity in the world until and unless they are gaining something. There is nothing called charity when they are giving you a job. Number two, these companies are one of the best in the world, and they are the best in India. They are companies with global recognition. These are the companies where people take immense pride. The workforce of these companies are meant to be the best. So if they are hiring people, they want to be the best. If they are hiring people, they want the best people. Are you the best? Do you have it in you? The answer is yes, you do. Sadly, you are not aware of it. You just need to take a notch higher. These trainings will help you to improve yourself and go up a level higher. So I really hope you guys are very serious about these trainings. We are putting a lot of efforts. For one slot of training of 2 hours, from tomorrow we have 3. For this particular slot of 2 hours, I don't know if how many of you know this. You have no idea how many people are working to make this live YouTube session happen. There are 2 camera person here in front of me. One who is using the camera for close-up, one person is using for the board. So these 2 camera person are standing throughout for 2 hours. Even I am standing for 2 hours. So that's 2. Up there is a technical room where they decide which screen to be shown to you. There are 2 to 3 people who are working there. There is a person who is coordinating everything from the A.P.S.S.D.C office. So on an average, for each session, there are close to 10 to 12 people who are working continuously every day, putting an effort to bring more assistance to you, to bring more knowledge to you. So I want you to respect that. I want you to understand that, because now you are getting these trainings in a lot of colleges since last 1 year. But prior to that, many colleges did not have these trainings. All right, there was no skill development corporation which was doing all this. So when you get an opportunity like this to learn something, make the best use of it. I had been telling you again and again, if you have any questions, please post on the YouTube page. I will check and I will reply. So far I got only 2 questions. and we've been doing this training for last 2 weeks or little more, right? So it's not possible that all of you, among all of you, only 1 or 2 person have 2 questions. It's just not possible. So if you don't ask questions, you will not get the answer. You need to treat this training differently. This is not your classroom, typical classroom or conventional classroom training where you are studying to pass in an exam. No, this is not any of such classroom session. These trainings will not only help you get the job, but to keep the job and to progress in your job. Getting a job in a company is easy, but staying in the job and getting promotions, becoming better, that is very challenging. Your communication skills, your soft skills, your aptitude skills will not only help you in terms of getting the job, but also prospering in the job. Alright. So that's why I request you, please put lot of efforts. We are putting lot of efforts for you. Please understand the importance of it and make the best use of it. And please do ask questions. Alright. Thank you. So I am switching to another, just a moment. I'll quickly open the slide which I need here. So yesterday we looked at certain aspects in terms of practice for vocabulary. We looked at certain synonyms and antonyms. So today what we're going to do is we will take it a little further, and we spoke about intonation, if you remember, right? Okay, the screen is ready now. So we spoke about intonation yesterday, and what did we speak about? Let's do a quick recap. We spoke in terms of intonation. We said we have falling intonation and rising intonation. But before intonation, we also looked at the factors that impact fluency, and they were fillers, foghorns, pauses, intonation. I also added another aspect which is rate of speech, the number of words you speak in a minute. In terms of intonation, I told you what exactly intonation is. It's a variation in the vocal pitch, the rise and the fall, and I gave you certain examples. Apart from these examples, I also explained to you in terms of a number series or a data series what kind of intonation you should engage yourself in. So today we will speak specifically on speaking skills. In order to speak well for oral communication, I told you you need 4 fundamental pillars: pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary and fluency. Now that you know all these 4 aspects very well, I hope you know it very well, we will speak a bit on the speaking skills. Now this speaking skill is specific to interview which I have prepared. So when you go for an interview, they ask, so tell me more about yourself, or if it's a jam session, they ask you to speak about yourself. So what exactly you should be doing, what you should be speaking, how you should be speaking. I will pause here for 3-4 seconds so that you can take down whatever is mentioned on the PowerPoint. The first 5 points talks about the tips, the rules. The second section talks about what should be the flow. Okay, so it says understand the purpose, keep it clear and concise, prepare, maintain proper rate of speech, be relaxed and confident. Now whatever topic they give you, you need to clearly and coherently understand what the topic is all about. You need to prepare. When you prepare, you need to follow a certain flow. If the question is about, please tell me more about yourself, it's fairly easy, right? because you know everything about yourself. So when you have to speak about yourself, you will start with self introduction. When it comes to self introduction, there is a particular way of speaking. Okay, you cannot say myself. Okay, you cannot say myself or this is. You are not an object. Okay, can we have myself on the screen, please? So when we talk about self introduction, usually what happens in interviews is people usually start. I have come across a lot of candidates, regardless they are freshers or they are experienced, they start with the word myself. So my name is Ron, so they end up saying myself Ron. I finished my, I passed out B.S.C from Narayana Degree College or something like that they speak, which is absolutely incorrect. Self introduction basically means you will speak about your name, you will speak about your education background, right? Now in case if the person, it could be an interviewer sitting on the other side, it could be someone else, if he is addressing you by your name, my name is Ron, if he says hello Ron, how are you, can you please introduce yourself and tell me more about yourself. In case if he is doing that, I don't have to repeat my name because he knows my name already. So don't make the mistake of repeating the name. When a person is addressing you by your name, if you repeat the name, it shows as if you consider that person to be deaf, he couldn't hear you, or he doesn't understand, or he doesn't remember, or probably he is stupid. So you certainly don't want to do that, right? So self introduction, in case if the person says or addresses you by your name, just start with your educational background. Don't even say as you know my name is this, even that is not required. And don't start with myself, say I am or my name is. So you will speak about your name, you will speak about your education background. Now when you speak about your education background, you will speak on reverse order. What do we mean by reverse order? Reverse order means the latest one will come first, the oldest one will come later. For example, if I am introducing myself, my name is Ron and I am pursuing my B.S.c Computer Science from Narayana College. In my second year, I scored 86%. In my first year, I scored 73%. I have done my schooling, that is +2, as well as matriculation from Vijayawada. In terms of my family background, so I am going by the flow, alright. So can we have the presentation on the screen please quickly for like 2 seconds? Yes. So you look there, self introduction, education background, family background, strength, weakness, hobbies and interest. The last one is hobbies and interest. Okay, that should be the flow. Now within this also there should be a sub flow. For example, education background, you will go in reverse order. Clear? Alright, so let's pay attention here. So you introduce yourself with your name. You say my name is Ron, my name is Ravi, my name is Vijaya, whatever the name is, and you speak about your educational background in reverse order. Since you are pursuing right now, a lot of people in AP they say pursuing. I don't know why they mispronounce that as pursuing. It's not pursuing, it's pursuing. So I'm currently pursuing my B.Sc. In case if you have finished your graduation, please don't say I passed out in 2015 or I passed out in 2016. Passed out means you fainted. Okay, you went unconscious, that is what pass out means. You are supposed to say I graduated or I completed my graduation in science, B.Sc, specialization in computer science with a aggregate percentage of 82% or 65%, whatever it is. In case if you have an aggregate score, speak about it. If you have an individual year score, speak about it. If you have a grading system, speak about it. If you have a GPA, so basically you need to portray what the score is, and the same should be there in your resume. There cannot be a difference. Okay, So I'll start again. My name is Ron. I'm pursuing my BSc Computer Science from Narayana College in Vijayawada. My second year, I scored 82%, and my first year I scored 69%. Coming to my family background, I live with my mom and dad. My father is a railway employee, a central government railway employee, and my mother is a housewife. I also have a sister who is pursuing her schooling right now. Now, one important point in terms of family background. There are a lot of companies which does not ask you about your family. There are companies like Accenture, or not Accenture, I'm sorry, the companies like Genpact, the companies like Honeywell, they don't ask about family background. The reason is they are giving the job to you, not to your family. Alright. So, in companies like Genpact, the interviewer is not even supposed to ask a family related question, because they are not interested. It could lead to a lot of problem later on. Okay. Say for example, they are hiring a manager, and the hiring person, the recruiter, asks this girl, what are your marriage plans? And she says, I'm getting married in 2 months. Probably she will not get the job, because he will think when she gets married she will take 1 month holiday, so obviously I will not give this job to her. So when you ask about family background, it creates unnecessary complication. That's why some companies don't ask about family background. At the same time, some companies do ask about family background. They want to understand the foundation, they want to understand how serious you are about your career. Okay. So when it comes to family background, keep it very brief. Don't go in detail. Don't talk like my father is a railway employee, he goes to office at 9 o'clock, comes back at 5 o'clock. My mother is a housewife and she cooks very good food. Yesterday she cooked biryani for me. Unnecessary information. I have 4 sisters. My elder sister is working in Infosys, her salary is this, she is working in Chennai. My younger sister is working in Accenture in Hyderabad. Unnecessary information. So just say I have 3 siblings, just close it there. If you have just one sibling, just say my brother, my sister, elder to me, working, studying. Keep it as brief as possible as far as your family background is concerned. Clear? Education background, go a little deeper. Family background, stay on the surface, don't go deeper. Then comes the most important part about you is your strength. What are your strengths? Got it? So when it comes to strength, you are supposed to speak about qualities that helps the organization. Okay. You may have a strength where you can probably lift a 50 kg weight, like a weightlifting. That's your strength. But how does it help the organization? It does not. You may be a person whose strength is to run for 10 kilometers every day, marathon. How does it help the organization? It actually doesn't. It's your hobby, it's your interest, it shows your endurance, your stamina, and you love sports, but it doesn't really make you what you need to be for an organization from that usage or that utility perspective. So strength, keep it very, very focused about your attitude, about your behavior that can help the organization. For example, I am a quick learner. So this is strength number 1. You can use it if you think you are, but don't lie in an interview. Okay. So you say I am a quick learner. How does it help the organization? If you are a quick learner, the company will not have to spend too much time training you. I will tell you, I don't know how many of you have this knowledge about how companies work, but I need to explain so that you understand the importance of this particular training, and you also understand the importance of getting a role in a particular project. Say this is a company which is going to hire you. Okay. Now in this company there are 1, 2, 3, 4 verticals. Verticals basically means what kind of product, what kind of services they have. So this company, vertical number 1, they have telecom. Vertical number 2, they have automobile. Vertical number 3, they have insurance. And vertical number 4, they have healthcare. Okay. So these are the verticals. They are into telecom services, they are into automobile services, they are into insurance products, they are also into healthcare service. Completely different verticals, but this company has these many verticals. There are companies which has multiple verticals. Now what is common between all these 4 verticals? What is common is all these verticals, they have certain companies for which this particular company which is coming to your college, they do software programming, they build software, and they also troubleshoot. Okay. Say for example, for telecom, this company is say TCS. Okay, I'll make it easy for you so that you understand. So TCS is the company which is coming to your college and they are hiring people. They need 500 people in each of these vertical. Clear? They need 500 in each of these vertical. For telecom, their customer or their client is Orange. We have Vodafone here, right? Vodafone was earlier called Orange. In Europe, it is Orange. For automobile, the client is Honda. For insurance, it is AIG. For health, it is Siemens. Now from the industry point of view, let's understand backward what happens. So Orange is a company which is into telecom services, network, telecom network, internet services and all that, like a SIM card, like you have Airtel or Vodafone SIM card or BSNL. So likewise, Orange is a company which provides SIM card. It is into telecom industry, right? Then you have Honda which manufactures cars, and this is into automobile. Then you have AIG which is a very big insurance company which provides healthcare insurance or any kind of other medical benefits, mediclaims. Then you have Siemens which manufactures equipment which is into healthcare, say for example a CT scan or a heart monitor. All these 4 companies are into different fields altogether, but one thing is common: they use softwares. They use software for everything in their organization. Now this software has been designed and developed by TCS. Now understand one thing very clearly. Say for example, I buy this phone. Okay, I bought this phone, I paid 20,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees, doesn't matter. Now this is only the hardware. What is there inside, I can choose. I can either choose an iOS, I can choose Windows, I can choose Android, because that's the speciality of this phone. A company like TCS comes and says, you can use my own program on your device. I say fine, how much will you charge, because these are my requirement. So they say I will charge you X amount of money and you can buy the software and you can use it. I start using it, after 3-4 days there is a bug, suddenly it's not working, or I try to unlock and it's not unlocking, or the password got logged, I cannot open my phone at all. Whom do I go to? Obviously I'll go to TCS, because they are the one who has written the program, who has developed the software for the device. So one is developing the program itself, number 2 is maintenance of the services. So they sign a contract. So here TCS will sign a contract that we will develop the program and we will also take care of maintenance. For development, they will hire people who are software engineers who are writing programs. For maintenance, also they will hire software engineers or people who are from software background. If I have to use the example of a BCom student, alright, so you have Orange network. Orange is spread across 14 different countries in Europe, clear? Now all these countries have their own office, they have employees of Orange. These employees are working in an organization, working in a building, and they are using computer, they are using electricity. Sometimes they have to buy a new keyboard, new mouse. They are traveling from one country to another. For example, somebody has to travel from Italy to Luxembourg, somebody has to book the ticket. So there is some amount of money transaction that is happening. If one office in Italy of Orange network wants to buy 50 desktop, they can't go to the store, the market and say I will buy 50 desktop. They have to follow a certain process. They will look for the lowest cost and the best quality. Who is doing all these jobs? Who is ensuring that the supplier of the desktop has been paid within 30 days? That's a job of an accounts payable specialist. Who is responsible for ensuring the books and the accounting system maintained by Orange in Italy is as per the law of Italy? Who is ensuring that if some portion of the profit is moving from Italy to France, are they paying taxes to the government or not? So you have finance and accounts people who are doing that. So the company may not be TCS, the company could be something else who are into finance and account kind of verticals. The client could remain the same, the industry could remain the same, but the work will be different. The work or the domain will be different. In that case, the domain will change to finance and accounts or accounting services instead of software and maintenance. Okay. So now come back. So they know that for year 2016 and 17, they need 500 people in each of these verticals. Now think for a moment why this company has gone to TCS. They have so many options, right? They have so many companies around the world. Why did they go only to TCS? Because TCS said, I will build the program, I will also maintain the program, the entire coding, the maintenance, everything will be taken care of, so that you need not run around too much, you need not face difficulty. If I have to give an example of a car, Honda. These days in modern day cars are equipped with a computer chip in the car. I am sure many of you know this. So there is a person who will be working, right, the coding system for that entire microchip in the car, the processor. So everything has been programmed in case if the car malfunctions, on the dashboard behind the steering wheel, they can find out what is the problem with the car. It gives the exact diagnosis. Imagine Honda has planned to launch a new car, and this is the first time in say Australia they are launching a car like this, and the programming has been developed by your team, and your job is to ensure that whatever things that could go wrong, you already know what is the step for it. For example, if my phone is not switching on, the reason could be it's low in battery. So you know the immediate solution for it, immediate cause for it, and the solution is you need to charge it. So your team is into troubleshooting and you understand what you need to do. Now imagine on the day of the launch, there are 150 people who go to different car showroom in Australia and they say I want to test drive. And all these 150 cars, the moment it crosses 15 kilometers per hour speed, it stops suddenly. Nobody knows why. On the screen, it doesn't even show you why it stopped. During the testing phase, when the team was testing, they had put a rule, in case if the car speed exceeds 15 kilometers per hour within the premises of the showroom road, the car should stop. Because in outside India, if you go to Europe, if you see some of the big showrooms of cars, they have a huge track, so you can test drive within the showroom itself. So you have the showroom building, around it you will have a track. So when you are taking the car out from the main block to the track, obviously there will be people. If you increase the speed, people will they can cause a lot of accident. So they had put a microchip rule, or microchip was programmed in such a way, when you are taking the car out, if it exceeds 15 kilometers per hour, the car will stop suddenly and it will start beeping. Okay. What the team was supposed to do? They were supposed to disable that, because now the car has been launched. They need to disable for what? In case if it crosses 3 kilometer radius from the showroom. Now they forgot to remove it. 150 people go to different showroom, because for 1 month there was ads in TVs that Honda is launching a new car managed by the computer, too much easy to drive, it's not expensive, and all these 150 customers, they take the car out and that's it, it stops, and nobody knows why. Even the showroom guy will not know why. The dealer also will not know why. Only 1 or 2 people will know, oh my God, I forgot to disable that particular programming. Imagine that I forgot to do it, that can lead to what kind of problem? These 150 people will go on Facebook, they will go on Twitter, and they will say it's a worst car, Honda should really do something about it, it's a fail. Now social media, the power is so strong. Australia is 5.5 hours ahead of us. So right now the time is 3:45, so probably it's 9 o'clock, somewhere around 9 o'clock in Australia. So the launch is supposed to happen at 9 in the morning in Australia. 9 in the morning means for India it is still like 4, 5, that's the time. And this car is getting launched all over the world, all the countries, Europe, India, Asia, America, Australia it starts with, because Australia, the day starts with Australia, right? The moment these 150 people face this problem, they update on Facebook that please don't buy this car. Now the problem is, people in Asia, people in Europe and people in America yet to wake up. The moment they wake up, they see the friends have been posting, sharing, it's just going viral, that please don't even test drive this car is not going to work. A small mistake like this can lead to billions of dollars of loss for a company. I am going to give you one example how a small mistake can lead to a very big problem. So when iPhone was launched, this is iPhone 4 if I am right, iPhone 4G or something, 4S, I don't really remember, I don't use iPhone. So when iPhone 4 was launched, I don't know how many of you know this, iPhones are manufactured, assembled in China. There is a company called Foxconn and they do that work, and then they ship it to US and all over the world. So the final testing is supposed to be done before the phones are packed and they are shipped. So the phone was launched in Europe. One particular guy bought the phone, he took out the phone, he was browsing all the settings, and if you go to gallery on a new phone, it has a default wallpaper, some 4-5 wallpaper. When he went to the gallery, there was one video. This video was of one particular girl who was wearing a face mask and a cap. She looked like a person from Chinese origin and she was dancing. Okay. So he immediately wrote on Twitter and Facebook that I got a faulty phone. My phone has a video of a girl dancing. Is it an inbuilt feature or is it a special feature only on this phone? Immediately people across Europe started sharing that retweet and started sharing the Facebook post. They started sharing it on other channels. Those days WhatsApp was not very popular, Facebook was popular. So they started sharing and people started demanding that we also want that video, otherwise we will not buy the iPhone. When they investigated, they found out that the girl who's supposed to do the final check on a particular assembly line, she's supposed to check the video, she's supposed to check the photography features of the iPhone. She forgot to delete that one video. Without deleting it, she did not even clean the phone, mean data clean. That's why that one video did not get deleted. She packed it, sealed it, and it was shipped to Europe, and this guy got it. Just because he is the only one who got that video and he shared the video on Facebook, everybody around him, lot of people said, I want the video on my phone as a default feature. Apple had to issue an apology, and they had to, it was really tough for them to manage people and explain to them it's a mistake. So one small mistake can cause billions of dollars of loss and huge loss of reputation as well. Okay. So this information I wanted to give you to tell you how serious you need to be when you start working. So these companies are into different verticals. So TCS is looking for 500 people. TCS has ensured that they have made the best software, they have written the best code. Now they need the best people to take care of it. Are you the best? You need to explain, you need to prove you are the best in whatever opportunity you get. So when it comes to an interview round, they ask a lot of technical questions, they ask a lot of general knowledge information, because they want to ensure that they are speaking to the best person. Clear? So when we talk about strength, you need to speak about strength which helps the organization. Alright. So in this particular scenario, they are hiring 500 people. Okay. Now the process is going to go live on 1st January 2017. From 1st January 2017, they will start servicing this particular client, which means they have understood it will take 50 days for them to train one person. 50 days. If you are a quick learner as a strength, you will finish the training in 50 days and you will say, fine, I am ready to go on live production. So you go live. But if you are not a quick learner, if you take more time to learn, that means the 50-day will become 75 days. On 1st of January, they are supposed to do the actual work. No more test instance. It's a real live platform. How will you do that? Are you prepared to be a quick learner? So when you say I am a quick learner, it helps the organization, it helps them save time on your training. The sooner you finish your training, the sooner they can put you on live and the sooner they can start generating revenue for the organization. Clear? So that's one strength, quick learner. You can say I'm a person who loves to interact with people. That's a strength. How is it a strength if you like to interact with people? You are from a different city, you are from a different town. Tomorrow if you have to go for a job and the posting of the job is in Jaipur, in Rajasthan. Now you don't speak Hindi, you speak only Telugu, you probably speak some other language and you speak English. There in your team everybody will be speaking in Hindi and English, Hindi more. So does it mean you will sit in a corner and you will not interact with anyone? Then how will you get the recognition? So when you say I am a person who likes to interact with people, that means you will not take much time to mingle with people. But please don't use the word mingling. I like mingle with people. Please don't say that. That's not how a qualified or educated person speaks. Say I like to interact with people. When I interact with people, I get to learn from them. Okay. So that's one strength. Another strength could be my confidence. I am a very confident person. Whatever task I take up, I may not know it completely, but I have the confidence, I have the self belief that if I put all the efforts, I can achieve the goals. When I reach my goals, when I achieve my goal, I will help the team also achieve the goal. If I am helping the team achieve the goal, I am directly helping the organization achieve the goal. So speak about strengths that helps the organization. It's not about your personal strength and what you're doing to yourself. It's like your personal strength that can help others, that can help an organization. Weakness. Now weaknesses are something where you are not supposed to speak about an absolute negative trait or negative behavior. Here you need to be little smart. Say for example, I say my weakness is I am very stubborn, and I want to tell you why I feel I am very stubborn, because usually they will ask, why do you think you are stubborn? Or you can yourself say, sir, I am a very stubborn person. The reason I feel it, because once I was doing a college project and my friend invited me for her birthday. So I decided to finish the project and only then I will go out of my home. And finishing the project itself took time. I missed my friend's birthday. Next day my friend was very angry and she said, you are very stubborn, you didn't want to come, that's why you didn't come. But sir, I need to work on it. When you speak about a weakness, you also need to tell what is the action plan for it. Clear? But here I am using stubborn as a negative word, but what I am trying to say is it's a positive factor. If an interviewer gets to know that you are a stubborn person, you need to prove that here stubborn means if you got a task to do, you will finish the task. If I am giving you a task and your shift timing is 9 to 6, if you did not finish it at 6 o'clock, you can't say that I am going home. That's the difference between an organization and a government organization. If you go to any government organization, say an electricity department or municipality department, 2 to 2:15 is 2 to 2:30 is say lunch hour, and there is a long queue. Peak summer, people are sweating, there is no fan, nothing outside in the hall, there is one counter. This person is taking your bill and cutting the receipt, he is taking the money. He knows that there is an old person standing in the queue right in front, but without caring about it, he puts the lunch break board and he goes. That's the difference. That I don't care what is happening, I have to leave for home at 5 o'clock, I will go. I have to go at 6 o'clock, I will go 7 o'clock, whatever is the shift timing, doesn't matter. But you cannot portray that kind of attitude. It's not that every day you will stay in the office for 12 hours. Sometimes there could be requirement where you need to stay. So when you say I am a stubborn person, it means you give more importance to the task's completion than anything else. So when we speak on interviews, I will speak more in depth. But the reason I showed you this self-introduction, education background, family background, strength, weakness, interests and hobbies, the reason I am talking about all these aspects is because when you are asked to speak about yourself, what exactly you will say and what should be the flow. So in case if you are given a topic for jam session and I say please speak about yourself, you know what should be the flow. Clear? I wish there was a way where you can speak and I can see. Probably you can take a video, post it on YouTube and post the link on the YouTube channel. I don't know how you will do it, because if I don't know, are you able to learn and apply, there is no way I can make it better. Alright. So let's get back to the slide. This particular image is very familiar with all of you now. The 4 pillars, and these pillars are pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary and fluency. So now we will speak a bit on listening skills. So we'll start with listening skills today. We'll finish with listening skills today, and tomorrow we'll start writing skills. Now, to begin with, what do you mean by listening? Here we will speak more on the presentation today. So, what is listening? It's a process of receiving information. Okay. So, when we say receiving information, any kind of sound that you receive. So, here you are receiving information. So, it's a process of receiving. Now, if it's a process of receiving, how is it different from hearing? Hearing also is receiving information. All these are sounds. I am receiving it. But how is it different from listening? Let's take a look at the presentation. You will understand how is it different from listening. So, it's a process of receiving, comprehending. Comprehending means understanding. It's a process of receiving, comprehending and responding. So, you are receiving, understanding, and you are also responding to it, to spoken or non-verbal messages. Non-verbal messages means gestures. For example, if I wave at you and I say hi, you will actually say hi in return, because I didn't say anything, I just waved my hand. So, you are responding to a spoken or non-spoken message. The difference between hearing and listening: if you hear something, it is because you have ears. If you have ears, that means you have ability to hear. That means you are not deaf. You don't have a hearing problem. So, if you hear something, it is because you have ears. If you listen to something, then you are paying particular attention to what you want to hear. So, the first one, it's a physical process. You are hearing something. But the second one is a mental process, because you want to hear it. Right now you are hearing my voice, right? You are hearing my voice, whatever I am saying, but you can also hear the clap. Now you can see it. I will hide my hand and I will keep making this sound. You are hearing this sound, but you are actually paying attention to what I am speaking. If I stop speaking, this is what you hear. So, hearing, you are not responding to that, but whatever I am speaking, you are responding in some way. Probably you are acknowledging, nodding your head, you are taking down a note, or you are even understanding. That is also a response to an extent. Like I said, we do not have a two-way interaction in this mode. So, obviously you cannot respond to me directly. Okay? So, that is the difference. Hearing is a physical process, listening is a mental process. You are using your brain, you are using your thought process, you are using your thinking capability. Clear? Let us go back to the presentation, please. So, what are the stages of listening? There are different stages, how it starts and how it ends. So, first what we do, we hear. Here is exactly what is happening when we hear. It's just a sound. Okay? So, we first what we do is we hear, then we pay attention to it. You hear a sound, then you pay attention. Once you pay attention, you understand what the sound is all about. So, first you heard, then you started paying attention, then you try to understand, and then you remember. For example, if the sound is very familiar, if you are waiting for a train or if you are waiting for a bus, so you know at exactly 5 o'clock the train is supposed to arrive, but usually it does not, right? It is always 5 minutes, 10 minutes late. So, you are on your phone, you are speaking to someone right next to you, suddenly you hear the horn of the train, of the engine. First you heard, second time you are like, whoa, was that a traffic outside or was that the train's horn? Then you pay attention, then you understand, oh okay, this is actually horn from the train. Then you remember how it sounds because you are used to that sound. And then what do? You evaluate and then you respond. What do you evaluate here? Say you are in a railway station, you are waiting for your train. You evaluate, is the train exactly your train which is coming or some other train? Sometimes what happens, you are waiting at platform number 2, you need to travel from one place to another, suddenly a train comes and you panic, oh my god, this is my train. But what exactly happens? That could be a different train. So you evaluate, is that exactly the train which I am waiting for? If that is right, if that is indeed your train, what do? You respond. How do you respond? You board the train. Okay. So I will keep this slide here one by one, and I want you to take this down and also understand what do I mean by this. So we hear, we pay attention, we understand, we remember, we evaluate, and we respond. So that's a stage of hearing to listening. How hearing becomes listening, this is a stage. Now what are the types of listening? Types of listening, one is inactive. What do we mean by inactive? Inactive listening is something where you are not paying attention to anything that the person says. Say for example, you are in the class right now, and it happens a lot in our school, right? We are in the class and we are sitting on the last bench, we are discussing when is Bahubali 2 is going to release, which heroine is getting married to which hero, why Pawan Kalyan is not becoming chief minister. We have so many different things to worry about in our life. Except our own life, we worry about everything else, right? And while the lecture is going on by the teacher, you are busy talking to your friend about all this. So, but sometimes what we do, we just nod our head, yes, yes, we are listening, but actually we are not listening at all. Suddenly the teacher asks a question and they throw a chalk piece on you, that you, last bench, red shirt, stand up, please repeat what I said, and then you are like, I don't know, because you were not paying attention. So that is inactive. When you are not paying attention, but still the sounds are going inside your ear, you know there is a person who is speaking, but what they are speaking you are not paying attention to. That is inactive listening. The second one is pretentious listening. If we have the slide back on the screen, please. I am going to show you all the different kind of listening, all the different types. I will pause for 2-3 seconds so that you can take it down. Inactive, pretentious, selective, active, reflective. Inactive, pretentious, selective, active, reflective. What I want you guys to do is, instead of me telling you everything, I will pause for 30 seconds. You will have the slide in front of you. I want you to think what each of these listening type means. I don't want to keep telling everything. So you need to read what is selective listening, what is pretentious listening. Just try to imagine what could be the correct information or correct answer. Inactive I already explained to you. So what do you mean by pretentious? Then what do you mean by active, or what do you mean by selective or reflective? Okay, all right. So let's see, inactive basically means where you're not paying attention at all. What do you mean by pretentious? Pretentious means you try to show that you are listening, but actually you are not. For example, people who sit on the front row in conferences, they sit like, I want to see myself on the screen, please. Okay, so pretentious basically means where you're pretending, you are just acting that you are listening, but actually you're not. It's like people sitting on the front row in conferences, they sit like this, they keep nodding their head, but maybe they have an earplug and they're listening to music and they're actually doing it for the music, not for the speaker, quite possible. That is pretentious listening, where you pretend, you act that you are listening, but actually you are not listening. Selective listening is something where you pick what you want to listen and you forget the rest. Say for example, today I say for example I am making an announcement. Okay, the announcement is from tomorrow we will have 6.5 hour of session from 9:30 to 1. 9:30 to 1 and 2 to 5. So these are the two segments of the entire training. At the end of the training, each student will get one surprise gift. Okay, so that's the announcement. Now when you leave the room, you only remember that you will get a surprise gift tomorrow. You don't remember, you don't even pay attention that from tomorrow the session hours will go up. That is selective listening. Selective listening happens because you pay attention to what you want to hear. Selective listening happens because you have certain liking, you have certain need, certain requirement, so you pay attention only to that aspect, you ignore the rest. In listening process, you cannot ignore anything at all. Clear? So now we have active. Active listening is what? When you are receiving the information, you are understanding and evaluating, and you are responding. So we say you should engage yourself in active listening. There is another way of listening which is reflective listening. What do we mean by reflective? Reflective is like a mirror. I see my face on the mirror, it's reflecting back. Reflective listening in conversation basically means while I am talking, while I am listening, I ask a question or I acknowledge. Say for example, I am talking right now and I say that the most important type of listening is reflective listening. What is it? And you say reflective. Now you are responding immediately, you are responding when I am asking a question, alright, or you are nodding your head. Reflective listening also helps the listener or the speaker to be on the same page. Whatever I said, you understood. Whatever you understood is exactly what I said. That means there is no gap between what I said and what you understood. As a speaker, I am responsible. People say that I am only responsible for what I say. I am not responsible for what you understand. No, that is also my responsibility. The way I speak will determine what the other person will understand. I need to change the way I speak. If I am speaking to a friend of my age, I will speak like this. I will just ask, hey, did you have your lunch? And did you buy something for the festivals? But if I am speaking to a 4-year-old person, a 4-year-old kid, not a person, right? A 4-year-old kid, will I say, hey, did you have your lunch? And what gift are you buying for yourself for festival? Will I talk like this? No. My talking style will change. Hey, what's your name? Did you have lunch? What did you eat in lunch today? But can I talk like that to an adult? No. If I am speaking to a person who is 80 years old, he can't hear properly and I need to speak a little loud and I need to speak slowly. Did you have lunch? Lunch, did you have? Did you eat? Now I am using gestures, my rate of speech is coming down and my volume is going up. So I change because it's my responsibility as a speaker what my listeners understand. Okay. So let's go back to the slide. So we have inactive, pretentious, selective, active and reflective. So active and reflective. So this is active and this is reflective. This is what you should engage yourself in. This is what you need to practice. Now what are the barriers of active listening? Barriers means it creates a roadblock. It will not be smooth. So we have external barrier and we have internal barrier. External barrier, for example, noise, clutter, distractions. Internal barrier, for example, comparing, personal experience, automatic talking, mind reading, judging and daydreaming. Now let's talk about external barrier. External barrier is something, sometimes it is under control, sometimes it is out of control. Say for example, while you are speaking, there is somebody who is playing music around me. So I can go and tell him, please stop the music. But sometimes I can't do that. Noise is external. Clutter basically means disturbance around. If I am speaking to someone, I need little silence. I need little discipline around the person. The difference between noise and clutter is, noise is something which is in terms of a sound. Clutter is something in terms of visuals. Say for example, one person is talking to me. Can I have me on the screen please? I want to be on the screen please. Yes, thank you. So noise and then we have clutter. Clutter basically means a certain kind of disturbance. Say for example, I have this random board, okay. Imagine if I am talking to you like this, okay. You can hear my voice very clearly, but you can't see me. Imagine throughout the training, I talk to you like this. How long do you think you will be interested in? Not for too long. Imagine while I am talking to you, now my request to camera person, please don't change the angle, keep it like this. Now while I am talking, I keep moving like this. Okay. So did you understand what I am saying? And I keep moving, or I stand here and I talk. So I am showing like this, okay. TCS, which company is hiring, how many people they are hiring. Now I move completely out, I move completely in. Now you see how the camera is also moving because he is trying to help me. But in case if the camera is absolutely stable and I keep moving like this, or I keep talking to you like this, will you be interested? No. That's a clutter because it creates disturbance to the person, whoever is listening to you, whoever is trying to pay attention to you. So you need to minimize the clutter. If you are the speaker, you need to minimize the clutter because that becomes an external barrier and you got to control that. Noise, for example, there is a constant noise. Some people have this habit. I don't have a pen with me here. I don't have a marker because I am using a chalk piece. So on the pen there is a lid, there is a clip, right, which you put it on your pocket. They keep playing with that while they are talking. That kind of creates some kind of disturbance, that creates distraction. So as a speaker, you need to ensure you are not engaging yourself in any one of those acts. The third one is, in terms of external, the third one is distortion. Distortion basically means disturbance. in terms of transmission. For example, while I'm while I'm talking about now what happened, you are getting little irritated because I'm correcting my voice again and again and again. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to drink some water. If I don't drink that water, my voice will have distortion. Distortion means disturbance in transmission. It could be a visual distortion. Now you are watching it on YouTube, suddenly the screen is going up and down like Doordarshan, or my voice is not very clear. My voice is kind of cutting in between, or the video starts to buffer, or I keep correcting my voice. That's an external distortion, external barrier, which is distortion. So let's have the slide back on the screen, please. So we have noise, clutter and distraction, which are external barriers. Please take this down. I will pause for 5-10 seconds. And I also want you to take down what the internal barriers are. Comparing, personal experience, automatic talking, mind reading, judging and daydreaming. Please take it down. I will pause for 5 seconds and then we'll start. All right, comparing. What happens in comparing? Now, let me have myself on the screen, please. I hope the students have taken down everything on the slide, so they don't need to see it anymore now. All right, comparing. For example, if I am talking about a particular incident, say for example, I am talking about training session that we are doing right now. So I am talking about how helpful this training will be for you in order to get a job in some of the best companies, and how the training will be conducted. So I am basically talking about through YouTube, right? While you are listening to me, you are constantly comparing one training session which somebody may have attended last year that I conducted in the classroom itself. I traveled to quite a few colleges. So imagine if somebody is saying, no, he came to the college, it was a classroom session for 10 days, 6 days, 6 hours a day. This is not helpful, that is helpful, but somebody says, no, this is helpful because we can sit at home and watch it. Now that you are constantly comparing in back of your mind, you are not listening to what I am saying. That's why that's an internal barrier. So when you keep comparing information from something in the past or something which you desire, it leads to a barrier because you are not paying attention to it. Okay. Second one was personal experience. What do we mean by personal experience here? Personal experience basically means while you are listening to the speaker, you are bringing your personal experience in between. Say for example, I am a speaker, I am going for a job, right, and I am speaking about just a minute session, jam session. So in jam session, the topic that is given to me, and I am a candidate, and those who are watching me right now, you are the hiring manager, HR manager, and you are going to hire me. And the topic that you have given to me on for jam session is your journey to Goa for a holiday with your family. So I start. Now you didn't give me this topic, there was a bunch of chits, cards. I picked a card and it says your vacation in Goa with your family. So I had a great time with my family. So I start my jam session. I tell you how great my journey was, how much I enjoyed in Goa with my family. But you as an HR manager, maybe you went last month with your family and you had a bad experience. Okay. When I say I went to the railway station, the train was 15 minutes late, and you'll be like, when I went, the train was 2 hours late. Then I say I got down and immediately I got a cab. The cab guy, the taxi guy took only 100 rupees, or maybe you had a bad experience and you ended up paying 400 rupees and the cab broke down. You could not even reach your destination on time. You lost your wallet, you lost your mobile phone. But here I am talking about how much I enjoyed. Just because coincidentally both of us went to the same place, your personal experience will completely overshadow what I am speaking. When that happens, that becomes an internal barrier. So, internal barrier we looked at comparing. So, please don't compare when you are listening to a speaker. Please don't bring your personal experience. The speaker is talking about his experience and his knowledge. If you keep interrupting him in your mind, not in reality, if you keep thinking about your personal experience, that means you will not pay attention to what he is speaking. Okay? The third one is automatic talking. This happens in a lot of people. When a person is talking, the other person also starts talking at the same time, and both of them, they keep talking, they don't stop. When you are talking over another person on constant basis, you are not allowing that person to speak. It's like interrupting a person. When you interrupt a person, you are not allowing that person to speak. You are not even allowing yourself to be heard. If he is speaking and you are also speaking at the same time, nobody can hear each other. That becomes a very big problem in terms of communication. So, that is an internal barrier because you can control it, right? It is within you. Internal is something which you can control immediately. External, some you can control, most you cannot control. So, please pay attention to internal barriers. You cannot let go the control of it. You have it in your control. Okay? So, automatic talking is when people have this tendency or the habit of talking over somebody else and they don't allow the other person to speak. In lot of cultures, that is considered very rude, very arrogant. It's like insulting someone when you do not let the other person speak and you keep speaking. So, please don't do that. Alright. Then we have mind reading. When we are listening to someone, we sometimes engage ourselves in mind reading. Say for example, today when I reached, it started to rain a little bit from the parking area where I parked my bike to this building where I came. I got drenched a little bit. My shoulder and this area was like slightly wet. Thankfully, by the time the session started, it got dried up. Now imagine if there are watermarks all over my shirt, or in case if there is a band-aid on my forehead, and I start my session that today I am going to talk about listening skills, and first thing I will start with the companies that is going to come to your college to hire you. Instead of listening to me, you will look at my forehead band-aid, you will be like, oh my god, looks like he fell down somewhere. Maybe he fell down in office, maybe he fell down while coming, maybe fell down while going yesterday, and you will look at the shirt, it is completely wet, you will be like, oh, it's still raining in Hyderabad, he doesn't have a raincoat, he doesn't have a car, he did not have time to wear a raincoat. You are thinking all that instead of paying attention to what the speaker is saying. When mind reading happens in your audience, you will not like it. You want them to pay attention to what you are saying, right? So, mind reading also is something which is bad. Now, mind reading happens in two ways. One is where you are assuming things like this. Second, you are thinking what I am thinking. You are reading my mind. For example, I am speaking about technology, and you will be thinking, I don't think he knows anything about technology, he is just talking about it, he is just giving example. He actually doesn't know anything. So, now you are reading my mind and you are judging me. If you look at the next point on the presentation, can we have the presentation please? So, when you are mind reading, by constant mind reading, you end up judging the person. And most of the time, this judging is an incorrect way of judging someone. Whatever you judge, whatever you assume may not be correct, but you end up doing that. And the last one is daydreaming. Daydreaming basically means with your eyes wide open, you are dreaming about something while the speaker is speaking continuously. You're just dreaming that you will go for a movie, you will buy something today, the Dussehra festivals are coming, so you are just planning that you will go somewhere, you will buy a new phone or something, you are just constantly dreaming about something in daytime with your eyes wide open. So these are the internal barriers. So external, we have noise, clutter and distortions or distractions, both are pretty much the same. We have internal barrier, which is comparing, personal experience, automatic talking, mind reading, judging and daydreaming. Okay. Now, so how do you make yourself a good active listener? You make yourself a good active listener by listening. How do you listen? By hearing, receiving, paying attention, evaluating and responding. That is what listen is all about. Then you ask questions. When you ask questions, you are basically acknowledging. When you ask question, the other person understands that yes, you understood, that's why you are asking question. Clear? Then reflect or paraphrase. Paraphrase means you heard something, now you are repeating that in a different way. For example, your supervisor tells you that I need this task to be done today itself because we have urgent deadline. Okay sir, so what you mean to say is I need to give priority to this particular task because the client is asking for it. I am using a completely different line. The supervisor did not even say don't give importance to anything else, but that is what I understood because that is what I heard and I am listening to it. And the last point on the slide is agree. When you agree, yes you are right, yes I understood. When you agree, that means you are understanding. Okay. So that's about listening skills. So we learnt about speaking skills, we learnt about listening skills. Reading is something that I already explained to you. You need to do that on your own. I expect you to practice and work on your assignments on daily basis. I am sorry, there is no way I can understand if you are working or not, if you are understanding or not. It's up to you about your seriousness, that you work hard and you understand. The next segment that I will talk about is writing skills. This will be this will get started tomorrow, where I will talk about the rules of good writing. I will also talk about, so these are the rules. I will talk about the rules and I will also talk about the tips how to write. The reason writing is important is because one very simple factor. There are a lot of companies where the selection criteria also has writing skills in terms of essay writing. Tech Mahindra and Capgemini, they have essay and they are very strict about it. They want to ensure the quality of the writing is really good. So if I have my entire sheet, it's very simple. So I basically divide into 3. My first one is introduction, the second one is the body and the third one is conclusion, the ending. But how should you start? How should you build the body and how should you conclude tomorrow on, in terms of your punctuation, in terms of active or passive speech, in the accuracy and the integrity of a sentence, understanding the topic and writing a perfect essay. Now some of these companies will ask you to write a essay for half an hour. In half an hour whatever you can write. So if you write way below the time, if you submit it within like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or if you take more time, obviously you can't take more time because half an hour the submit button will get disabled. So writing basically I will explain to you about essay writing. I will also talk about email writing. TCS pays a very focused attention on email, where they have a very set standard. They give you a topic and the topic is displayed in some words like 10 to 12 words or bunch of words. The email has to be written using all those words in the same order and in the same form, same order and same form. For example, I have word number 1 which is buy, word number 2 is car, word number 3 is shop. So you need to use it in the same form. I can't change the word, first word buy to bought. I can't change the shop word to shopping. I cannot do that. So I need to follow the same sequence, 1, 2, 3, same sequence. I also need to follow the same grammatical form, the tense form, the verb form. So I will tell you about the email writing, how an email should be, what are the factors that you need to pay attention to on an email, how to write a perfect email, how to write a perfect essay. So I can tell you how to write a perfect email or essay, but it's up to you how much you practice. You had been attending for last 2 weeks. I am very curious and interested to know how much have you guys practiced so far. So that is important. If you do not practice, you won't be able to write a sentence. In essay writing in Tech Mahindra, Capgemini and these companies, you need to write for half an hour, probably 1500 words. How will you write? Essay is different from paragraph writing. In paragraph, it's just one single paragraph. Essay, you have structure, IBC. Clear? So what did we learn today? A quick recap. Today we learnt a bit on speaking skills. We looked at illustration, we looked at examples, we looked at the flow, how you should speak, what should come first, second, third, so on and so forth. I also gave you certain tips, how to introduce yourself, how to speak about educational background, family background, strength, weakness. The more will be covered in interview skills. Then we looked at listening skills. In listening, we looked at types of listening, stages of listening, the barriers of listening, internal as well as external barrier, and how to improve listening and what kind of listening you should engage yourself in. Tomorrow we will look at writing skill and we'll take it forward. Please remember, tomorrow the session starts at 9:30. From 9:30 to 11:30 you have aptitude, 11:30 to 1 you have technical skills, and from 2 to 5, that's the time that's been given to me. From 2 to 5 you will have my session, communication skill session. Since we have 3 hours time tomorrow, now it will obviously end at 4:30, 4:45, that's a slot given. Since we have 3 hours time, I want you guys to come back to me with questions, please. Once you finish the training today, please go back to the YouTube screen. Please type whatever questions you have. Tomorrow first half an hour, 1 hour, I want to respond to all the questions. Okay. So if you're watching on YouTube, the comments will be disabled now, but once the live show is over, the comments will get enabled. So please log on to YouTube with your Google account, type your question, I will look at the question and I will respond to you. Every day I check all the links and I check if anybody asked any question or not. If I am putting the effort to look for questions, please put 5 minutes of your lifetime and please enter some questions wherever you didn't understand, and I would be happy to answer these questions. Alright, I hope the session was helpful. I will see you guys tomorrow. and we will take it further. So, we will look at writing skills in extensive way. Lot of practice session we need to do tomorrow. I won't be able to check your answers, but I will give you some exercise that you need to do. Clear? Thank you so much. Thanks for your time, for being wonderful audience, and I will meet you tomorrow. Have a great evening and great day. Thank you.